Hey everyone! Last school year I took an IDEO U course called Insights for Innovation that really focused in on the empathize phase, where we learned how to empathize with people to gain a better understanding of their needs and wants. The link to the course is in the description, and I definitely recommend taking that course if you want to improve your empathy skills. One activity that I really enjoyed in this course was called Whose Life? An activity that helped us to practice thinking in a curious and non-judgmental mindset, especially when you're making observations. I loved it so much that I used it in my 2-day workshop over the summer, and now I'm using it with my students. So I'd like to share with you my experience in using this activity to teach educators and students design thinking mindsets and also observation strategies. We first began the activity by talking about the empathy phase and how making observations is a type of empathy work that helps creative problem solvers gain a better understanding of the needs and wants of the people they are helping. We then discussed how being curious and non-judgmental and having a beginner's mindset will help designers develop questions and make observations that can produce surprising and valuable insights. We then started the Whose Life activity with 4 photos of a workspace, my workspace at my school. Using these photos, I guided students in answering the following questions, modified questions from the IDEO U course. What do you see? Why do you think it is in this space? What does this person value? How do you think this person uses this space? What activities do you think happens in this space? What is a pattern or theme that you see in these photos? What questions would you ask this person? Throughout this time, I actively modeled the beginner's mindset, to be curious of everything that was going on in the photos and making sure that students constantly ask themselves why. As a class, we discussed what we observed. Students found a couple of patterns during their observations. They found that the space I worked in was quite messy, but at the same time, it was organized. All of my stuff was organized into different parts of my space. Like important information was posted on the wall. My education books had its own section. I had my tech gear in one drawer and my workout clothes in another. By no means was it neat, but they did see some organization. Additionally, students noticed that I had things around my workspace that had nothing to do with my job. For example, there were bottles of hot sauce, a cup, and even a fork next to my mouse and keyboard. They also saw that I had action figures, photos of my son, and a huge collection of sneakers stored up top. Ultimately, after asking me questions, they learned that everything in my workspace was for productivity. My organization allowed me to have everything I need in arm's reach to help me work faster. I have a fork, a cup, and hot sauce so that I don't have to walk over to the cafeteria for anything. I have everything I need at my workspace so I can work during lunch as well. And finally, I have things I love and enjoy in my workspace, like my photos of my son, my action figures, and my sneakers, because all of these things bring me joy. I find that when I'm happy, I am more productive. We even got home-based teachers to submit photos of their spaces, so that we can get more practice in making observations. Now, I thought it would also be fun for students to take photos of their own spaces at home and bring them to school. This part was of course optional, and I told them to not take any pictures that included personal information. They brought their photos in and made observations of their classmates' spaces. Something I did not do in my first couple of attempts teaching this activity was really emphasizing the importance of being non-judgmental. So when students asked their classmates questions after making observations of their photos, the tone of some of the students were negative and judgmental. For example, why do you have that in your room? Instead of maybe asking, what is the reason you have that in your room? Similar questions but with different tones. So it was a reminder for me to make sure that I continually talk about and model how to stay neutral and focus on the objective, which in this activity was to look at the space, the objects in that space, to find out more about the person, how they work or live, what that person values, and identify any patterns or themes. So I hope you liked the video. If you want to step up your empathy game, please check out this course. I definitely recommend it. It helped me gain a better understanding of the whole empathize phase. And if you want to learn more on how to implement design thinking into your classroom, please check out my book, Design Thinking in the Classroom. The link to the book is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. Until next time, peace.